You're listening to the Bring the Thunder podcast, a podcast by fans for fans.
Yes, you are indeed, and welcome back to the Bring the Thunder podcast. I'm here with Jack and Sapir. Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates. I'll tell you what, every person, every player, every coach on the Thunder deserves a whole bunch of cold today, and that's all they deserve. OKC loses for a third time to the San Antonio Spurs, 117-102. Quick stat line, 22-6-4 for SGA. Miserable shooting, miserable three-point shooting. Chet, 10-12. Irrelevant again. J-Dub, 12-2-6. I think he had 7 points in 3 minutes to start the game and then went quiet, looked like he was gasping for air the rest of the game. Lou Dort, 8 points, not terrible. Hartenstein played well, 13-12. Caruso adds 12 off the bench, going 2 of 12 from the three-point line. The Spurs, Fox, great game, 29 points, 12 of 19, attacked the rim all game long. Castle, 19, 4 and 7, continues to dominate OKC. Harrison Barnes hits five shots from the field, 15 points. Wemby goes 19 and 11. And that's really it. I mean, Dylan Harper had a decent game, 12 points, but just another game where, to me, fellas, it's just OKC right now. That's really what it is right now for me, and I'm sure everyone has different takes on it. SGA, when he can't go, the team's not going anywhere. Jalen Williams, 29 minutes, 12 points. He started off super hot. Then in the third quarter, he's getting water while in the game. He looks like he's just jogging out there. He looks like he has no energy in his body whatsoever. Then he's missing layups. He's missing free throws. He's short-arming every jump shot he takes, and it's disgusting. That's not going to work. Chet, quiet as hell. No energy in that building. No energy in the building. No sense of urgency for the team, it looks like to me. And just keeping it 100, I just don't think as of right now, and I think it's a slump, to be honest, because it happened against Minnesota, it happened against the Clippers, and it happened against Memphis as well on the offensive side of the ball. I just don't think right now OKC can compete with the top 3 teams in the West, and I don't even put them as a top 3 team in the West right now. They look miserable on the offensive end, and the one thing that could hold them over is their defense. Well, they let up 41 points in the first quarter. So I don't know what your guys' thoughts are, but mine for now is absolutely OKC's just in a bad slump right now.
Well, before we get into any more negative talk about the Thunder, I wanted to highlight 2 good parts about this game, which were Isaiah Hartenstein and Kenrich Williams. In my opinion, I thought they did a really good job and really wanted to win. It's a shame the rest of the teammates didn't. But yeah, I just want to shout out them before, because we're going to rip into it for about 40 minutes about how much we suck. But I thought it might be worth shouting them out. But transitioning off of that, 44 3-point attempts and only making 11.
Well, Jack, that's 2 times out of 3 now that they're sitting under 20. They're sitting at 25% from 3. Now, and they were wide open too. Caruso starts off 0 for 8. Like, that's not a defensive thing. He was wide open shooting the shots. He's just bricking the hell out of them. Jada bricking the hell out of shots. Everybody just bricking the hell out of shots, open shots. Mind you, if they make those shots, this game's completely different. But it's been about a week and a half, 2 weeks now where they haven't made any shots. And we're seeing the real struggle of this OKC offense right now. I do also think that, with that being said, they're not being aggressive enough. Shea's not getting downhill like normal. He looks a little tired too. They all look tired. And even when J-Dub decides to be aggressive, he's missing shots at the rim. He's missing layups. He's turning the ball over. Fellas, I mean, Sapir, I'm going to turn to you first here, man. What's going on?
Oh, man. Just another tough loss on Christmas Day. This is the 3rd one. Obviously, AJ didn't play. J. Will and Oos was missing. Not that the 2 other guys matter as much, but I still think AJ being a playmaker, scorer, we rely on him heavily. I mean, he's been getting 16 or more points in most games that he plays in. He's someone that's super reliable when SGA is not in the game. And we see in kind of back-to-back games, I've seen that as a trend where when SGA is on the court, when he's off the court, it doesn't seem to matter too much. We're not generating enough offense. I'm looking at the stats. I mean, from the Bigs' perspective, they both got 12 rebounds. They did their job. SGA only got 22 points. He did go 1 for 6, but I like the fact that he took his shots. I think J-Dub could have been a lot more aggressive in this game. I wanted him to get more shots up. And the one guy that took it upon himself, which I actually like, I know we could rip into him as a leader on this team, like Alex Caruso, but I love the fact that he took the initiative and realized the moment and that he needed to take a bunch of shots and just to kind of bring that energy. And if we're talking about energy, Hartenstein was fantastic. Kendrick Williams to start that first half, the whole first half. I mean, there's no other definition of energy than that guy. And, both of the two leaders showed up in this game. And that's something that I was looking out for. Is this team going to, show up in that way, or are they going to just lay down and kind of take the L? Honestly, they didn't lay down in this game. We just got beat. Full credit over to this Spurs team. They pretty much fully beat us, and just got to give, tip our hats and move forward. And I'm not too stressed. I'm not going to make some bold takes or anything. We started half, and that's just how the game went. SGA was fantastic in the first half, and he also cooled down in the second half. And when that happens with SGA and the rest of the team, when they're not, scoring the way they need, that's kind of what happens. We take the L.
I kind of have to. Sorry, Jack. I kind of have to hop in here. I completely disagree. The Spurs played really good in San Antonio, and that's where they absolutely dominated us. Tonight, we shot more free throws. We had the same amount of rebounds. They out-rebounded us by 1. We had 2 more personal fouls. We won the turnover battle. We won the turnover battle. Today wasn't about the Spurs. I'm sorry. Spurs had a great first quarter. OKC didn't make any shots. Not a shot. And I admitted the other night when OKC lost that game, the Spurs looked amazing. OKC beat themselves again today from their offensive standpoint.
And
you
we
cannot
needed AJ
shoot
Mitchell
25% multiple times against the same team. Like you're shooting sub 20% from 3. You're shooting sub 20% from 3. That's and you're wide open. You're wide open. Okay? It's not like they're contesting every shot. They are wide open shots and they're missing them. I don't have to credit the Spurs defense for us missing wide open shots. I could give credit to the Spurs for certain things, like De'Aaron Fox was amazing today. But to give credit to the Spurs for missing wide open shots sounds a little crazy to me.
Yeah, I guess that's fair, but
let's talk about how abysmal we are on the offensive side of the ball.
Well,
that's what we should.
The thing is, AJ Mitchell has been our second best offensive player this year consistently. Every game we can rely on him. He's the only one who wants to get to the bucket and is confident. And that shouldn't be the case at all. He's not even played 60 games. He's a second-round pick from last year's draft, and we're missing him today, and we're thinking, oh, well, we should have had him. We have Chet and Jalen Williams. They need to step up. Like, it's embarrassing the fact that we're losing this game, the third Spurs game in a row, because we're not stepping up at all. Like, no one is performing.
Right. It's getting to a point where, again, I'll go over the past few games. Obviously, we saw the Spurs games, shot sub 20% from deep in 2 out of 3 of those games. Got blown out in a beatdown in San Antonio. Then you go to the home games that we won by double digits, and you're like, oh, you look at the score, you're like, oh, we actually played well. They didn't play well in those games. It took 2 runs in both games to break a damn 5-point game. Both of those games against Memphis without anybody and the Clippers without anybody too besides Kawhi. Like, and then you go to the Minnesota game and they couldn't shoot in that game either. And they couldn't stop a nosebleed in that game either. It's the same script in all of these games. They're not playing well offensively. It's taking a toll on them defensively. And their energy just seems super low. Now, I could propose a question like, what's going on with OKC? And I don't want to hear the Spurs answer because it's just not true. We've lost to the Spurs. We also lost to Minnesota in the same fashion. We also scraped by 2 really poor teams at home in Memphis and the Clippers.
Joe,
Yeah, and
So-
I want
I want to answer the question real quick.
Go
It's just we mentioned it last time. It's coming down to our offensive game plan and what Mark wants us to do, and it's essentially relying on SGA to consistently put up 34 points per game on high efficiency, which some games he's not going to be able to do. And on top of that, we rely heavily on just taking a bunch of 3-point shots when, in my opinion, like you have to look for other shot variants. Like when we look at SGA, he's able to be a 3-level scorer. He can go into the paint. He can, activate himself in other ways. I feel like Lou Dort, Casey Wallace, a lot of these guys don't get into the paint that often. That's why we're a, mid-level free throw shooting team outside of SGA. And these guys not going to the paint, not getting fouls, that impacts you, from a basics, NBA basics and basketball basics. Like if you don't, have other ways to score, that's really what it comes down to. Our variance in terms of what shots we take outside of SGA is just 3-point shots. And you live and die by the 3, and you become a shot chucking team. And, you're going to lose games like this. This is what it is. That's the only offense that they have is SGA going into the paint, kicking out, and hoping his shooters hit it. And most of the nights they honestly don't. And we still win games because of our defense. This isn't a new trend. Like we've been playing like this all season long. It's just we've been winning against offensive teams like this one. It doesn't work because you can't keep up with their amount of shot creation and shot making. And that's really why we're taking the L's. And this team is just very well put together to beat us with the style that they play, with the style that we play. So that doesn't mean, they're just our kryptonite, but if any other team played like this and stole the Spurs game plan, they'd probably beat us as well.
Yeah, and I wanted to get to this comment here. Too salty to give the Spurs defense credit. Just not true at all. Like we said, we're missing wide open shots. It's such a terrible game plan and defensive game plan to leave us wide open for 3 points. You're just lucky. Well, I guess it's good because we can't shoot, but if we could, it would be a terrible defensive plan. So it's not that we're not giving you credit. Obviously, offensively, the Spurs are pretty good, but defensively, they didn't impact us outside of the paint at all. Like the 3-point was completely us just not being able to shoot.
Yeah, I mean, Austin, I saw your comment in the chat. We were 11 for 44 from deep today. And I'm not going to go on a tangent here, but I'll speak to you guys about it. If you watch last year's playoff run, when we went to 7-game series, the games we were getting dominated in, and absolutely dominated we did in a lot of those games, we were gone in these cold stretches of shooting. We weren't making anything. Mid-range, 3-point, free throws. That's why Indiana took us to 7. That's why Denver was able to take us to 7. We got blown out by Minnesota because we couldn't shoot the ball for one game. We had a good series other than that. That's the constant theme when OKC loses is they shoot 20% or worse from 3. Like, go back and watch every playoff game that we lost last year. We shot under 30% from deep. Mind you, Minnesota also beat us 3 times last year in the regular season, and we were going nuts, and we were like, what's the matter with OKC? And then they won 1 game in a playoff series. So, obviously, regular season stuff doesn't matter, but certain things do. And the things that bothered me is last year during the regular season, we were one of the top 3-point shooting teams in the league, and then it dropped off in the playoffs. It never got back to that. Casey Wallace is down. Jalen Williams can't shoot. He can't even make a layup. Lou Dort's
outside
down.
of last season, Joe, we've always been a pretty poor 3-point shooting team. Like we've never had consistency.
But last season we were a top 3-point shooting team.
I'm saying that's the only time I can remember in recent times that we've been that good of a 3-point shooting team. Even when we had Russ and KD and other variances of this team, we haven't been tops in 3-point shooting. And so I just think it's a weird game plan to rely on that when we're not really that good at it. And I don't think we have an offensive identity. When I really look at it, it's just SGA isolation and everyone else just come along for the ride. That's how it feels.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what they said in the playoffs last year was just take what the defense gives you. And right now, that's their identity. They're taking what the defense gives them. They're just missing every shot they take. just about. So, I mean, that's my takeaway from today's game. We never were really up. We were up for a little, and then the Spurs just went on a little run and just controlled the rest of the way. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing with the energy, though? They look tired, and I don't know why. It's not like, I mean, I know we went on a long playoff series last year, started off 24-1.
Well, we've played 5 of 8 games in the past couple of nights, so that's a pretty big stretch. We finally get 2 days of rest and then a couple more days of rest after that. So it could be something to do with that, but still, like, we're not going to blame lack of rest for losing back-to-back games when you know exactly what your opponent's looking to do. So
right.
We're feeding into their game plan, I feel like.
I just think they look. I just think they look terrible. And I mean, I guess it starts with SGA, but he's been having great games outside of today. Like, he's been playing fine. He's been playing really good, actually. He had a great game in San Antonio. What are the adjustments you guys are looking for? Because it seems to me like we look very similar to what we were. We're just not making shots, and we're not playing as good defense.
I think it's all in the starting lineup. There's no force spacing in that starting lineup at all. Isaiah Hartenstein with Chet Holmgren. Chet doesn't really play good with Isaiah, like I've been saying. And then Lou Dort can't hit the rim. Jalen Williams. Yeah, we need to put Isaiah Joe, AJ Mitchell, Aaron Wiggins, one of those guys into the starting lineup so we can have some offense. Like, being the best defensive team isn't cutting it anymore when you can't put the ball in the hoop. Well, I mean, we're not the best defensive team anymore, I wouldn't say. Probably not currently, so.
Yeah, the defense is definitely waning, especially against this offense or this style of offense. And we can see last game I said it was still a battle at times up until the third quarter. This game was just a full-on blowout fest. Like, they have our number. You could say that. Like, Spurs fans can honestly say whatever they want. And most people would probably believe them, especially when you're beating a team like ours that's the number 1 seed, won a championship, and you're pretty much routing us from the second quarter all the way through the rest of the game. I mean, this is not how the graph looked in the last game, and we played harder. That's how it felt. Like, I felt like we played harder, and they still beat the brakes out of us, right? Like, only 7 lead changes early. We can look at some team comparison stats on. Honestly, there's not much of a difference if you look at rebounding, assists. We even had a little bit more steals and blocks in this game. I still feel like it's a little low. It's just our field goal percentage, 3-point percentage is just much lower. Even from a free throw percentage, like, that's not really something we want to see. It was still a pretty even battle in the paint. Second chance points, we still won. They're still continuing. We can't stop their fast breaks because of De'Aaron Fox. I mean, he's one of the fastest NBA players in the league. And I think that gives them a huge edge because typically we're able to get back on most other defenses. And since we're having to put Lou Dort on Castle, and honestly, De'Aaron Fox is just running amok against us and getting a lot of easy buckets. That can also tip it for them. But, man, I think we need more out of Chet. We definitely need more out of J-Dub. It just feels like our offense is waning, and the guys we're relying on for kickouts, because J-Dub and Chet are getting kind of locked down on defense or not putting up enough shots, in my opinion. We're relying on Lou Dort, Caruso, Cason Wallace, guys that are typically not shooters. And the other thing I want to point out is the lack of minutes that Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins got in this game. 15 and 14 points. I said this in the last one. Those guys' minutes need to go up. Otherwise, we will not win games against high-octane offenses like the Spurs have. Like, that's the biggest thing I can say about the Spurs offense is it hits on all cylinders. A lot of their players always get involved from a points perspective. And we see that again tonight. And De'Aaron Fox obviously had a better night tonight. Stephon Castle's been super consistent for them. But overall, like, you see scoring in bunches from all around. Even Dylan Harper got involved in this one. Keldon got involved with this one. Harrison Barnes has been fantastic against us. So they have a lot of offensive creation, whereas we just don't. And the guys that we do end up relying on aren't offensive pieces, to be honest. So it's a very interesting matchup when you're going against a high-level offense versus defense. And we can see currently the offense is beating us up.
Yeah, I mean, And you know exactly where that's coming from right now is in the playoff run, we were getting really good supporting cast from Jalen Williams. Number 2, Batman and Robin. He's not even Robin's Robin right now. He's miserable. And I don't know if it's still the injury. And listen, if it's the injury and he's not ready to play, why is he on the court? Because before
Joe,
he came,
I want to answer that. It is the injury, but it's more of a permanent type of injury. It's not something you can't just put your wrist back to full health. It's similar to like tearing your calf or things like that, where certain injuries you can't just fix them and you have to kind of get used to them over a long period of time. And he's mentioned that in multiple interviews where he said his wrist is not going to get to the same levels of mobility. And that's just something he has to deal with, and we have to deal with as well. And we paid him a lot of money, and that's just kind of what you do in the NBA. You pay the right guy that wins you the championship, and we can just hope for his offense to kind of come back as the playoffs, get closer and closer. But as of right now, the wrist is not the same, and he said that himself. So, and it's not something he can just rest off, right? Like other injuries, you can just rest off. It's not like a shoulder or anything like that. It's internal in his wrist, and he's going to have limited mobility. He's just going to have to get used to it.
I hope he gets used to it, because if he doesn't, you could go get me Giannis if he doesn't. I don't need a guy with half a wrist.
That's crazy.
Half a wrist won us a championship.
Yeah, he
did.
The
thing is,
for the wrist.
Seb, if we can admit that he can't deliver right now, then we shouldn't be expecting him to. I don't think he should be in the position where we need him to be the Robin, the second option, because it's not working. So we can't keep pretending like he's gonna get those buckets. We need someone to fill that gap. It should be Chet, because he's fully healthy. He doesn't have an excuse.
I completely agree, Jack. It should be Chet that picks up that leverage. And he hasn't. I mean, these guys are still so young. People are not. We need to just take a step back and realize these guys are super young. We can't just be like, okay, now they are immediately going to just turn into these elite offensive guys. SGA took time. These two guys are going to take still some time. And throughout the year, they're going to get better and better.
Yeah. Well,
it's what we were predicting. It's what we were predicting over the offseason. But, I mean, you pay guys both max deals, super max deals, they better perform, and they just are not. They are underperforming those contracts as of now. Mind you, like I said before when this all started, could be a slump. J-Dub gets back. Chet gets his confidence back. The team's right back on track. Right. I mean, they started 24-1. They beat good teams. Everyone says they didn't. Okay, the Lakers came over to OKC and got spanked by 30. There's a reason why this team was playing so well, and right now they aren't.
But even with them back, I still think we need something else on offense. It's just not consistent enough. Our guys that we go to, Isaiah Joe and stuff, we can't always go to them. They're not always there. And Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, Casey Wallace, they're not 3-and-D guys. They're just D guys right now. So we need something. I mean, I've been saying it. Sadiq Bey needs to be traded for, so we can get some consistent offense on this team.
Just some type of consistent shooting, I think. We have SGA and then a bunch of 3-and-D guys around him. Now, Jalen Williams took that step last year, and that's why we won the championship 40 in the finals, like Zapier said. But right now, it's not there, and it's not there from Chet either. And Chet started this season off dominating. Jack, why don't you go ahead and shout this out real quick?
Shout out for a gifted membership. You guys need to check them out. The memberships are definitely worth it, and we post 2-3 times a week exclusive content just for you guys. So go check those out. And if you did just get gifted the membership, let us know who you are. Love to hear from you.
Awesome. Welcome to the community, my friend. Anyway, but back to it. I'm not going to jump to trade talk because, they've looked bad. They could still turn around before the trade deadline. Now, if it's still like this and they're scraping by poor teams, winning, but not great, something's got to be made. Some change has to be made because your whole point is to compete, right? You want to compete, try to get into the playoffs, try to win a championship. But if your offense can't, hit water if they fell out of a boat, then something's got to be made. All right.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is to trade for an offensive piece. I know Jack's been on the Sadiq Bey bandwagon. The other guy that I could throw out a name for that, Savi, he's been pretty good for the Kings, I believe. He's been shooting 40%. I saw him as a shout out. Like, I just think even if we don't trade for an offensive players, we have offensive players on our own bench that we just need to utilize more. It's getting kind of, I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, why am I talking about a trade when we have the exact guy I'm mentioning? Like
Right.
Isaiah Joe could just enter into the starting lineup. He's a pure 3-point shooter. He's one of the best 3-point shooters in OKC Thunder history. Like, why is he not in the game more? Like,
Right.
that's
I
what
agree
we're
with that.
missing, right? Like,
Yeah,
he's
I
the
agree
guy
with
that should get the minutes.
I agree with Hotspot right here. He said we'll have to bench Iheart and start AJ.
No,
Yeah, obviously
disagree.
double big is done. Double big is done. It has to be.
Agreed.
When AJ gets back healthy off his concussion, I'm all for AJ Mitchell. He creates well. He shoots well. He gets to the rim well. He gets to the free throw line well. He's top 3 in defensive rating. I don't see why he shouldn't be starting at this point. Maybe it's just protecting his players' confidence, as in Mark Daigneault I'm talking about. But this move, I agree, has to be made here. And shout out to Hotspot for the dono too, man.
I do not agree with benching Isaiah Hartenstein. He's been at least our top 3 player of the season. He needs to start. Double big isn't working. And I feel kind of crazy for saying it, but I wouldn't mind seeing Chet Holmgren come off the bench 1 or 2 games.
Yeah,
it feels crazy. It feels crazy, but he's not working with Isaiah Hartenstein, but he can't guard some of the bigger bigs. Isaiah Hartenstein does work with some of the guys, so it's hard. But I think one of them needs to start and one of them needs to come off the bench, so we always have a big, and then we can get more offense in the lineup, create more space, less clogging of the paint. But some games you can't start Chet Holmgren because someone like Zubac can bully him easily, just size-wise.
Yeah, the only problem with that is then you're benching a supermax guy. You're having a supermax contract come off the bench, and they can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't do that.
Yeah, I think benching Chet is a shout, but it's just really hard because he's one of the, it's one of the top defensive players, regardless of what we say. I still think benching Hartenstein is the right move. We just need to get J-Dub back at the 4 and get an offensive player. I honestly, another shout out other than Isaiah Joe, if we can just get more Aaron Wiggins minutes, he's another guy I'm down to start. Like, he's been consistent on the 3-point line. I think either one of those two outside, I don't want AJ starting for the one reason he doesn't work alongside Jalen Williams, in my opinion. Them on the court, their stats, advanced stats, we broke that down just the past weekend. I don't think they work together from an eye test perspective because they both need the ball. And with SGA, you can't, have them as well. So I definitely think we need to move one of our offensive guys into the lineup, and I think that's all we needed. Just a little bit more 3-point shooting to give that spacing for SGA because he's starting to get double teamed. We saw that in tonight's game in the second half. Once you get the ball out of SGA's hands, who else is going to give you buckets? And there was not many answers. Aaron Wiggins actually impressed me for a good stretch there. He had a nice rip through basket, and then he went and scored a 3. So it was really nice little stretch. And then he didn't get more, early. I wish he got more points early on. So
he's been playing exactly how we need J-Dub to, and that's why we need him in the starting lineup, because he's being aggressive coming downhill. He's making his shots, and we need that. But for some reason, Mark just doesn't like him because he will only give him 15 minutes a game. It's been the tale for 3 seasons now that Aaron Wiggins, everyone can see it apart from Mark Daigneault, that he is affecting the game. So
he was saving basketball tonight. There was literally moments where I'm like, he is saving us. He's saving us from going down and down in the game, and we just didn't see enough of him, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of you. Absolutely, but I gave up on arguing for it. We did, all 3 of us during last year, every show we were like, get Wiggins in the starting lineup, get Wiggins more minutes.
I'll never give up. It
never happened. We said it all off season. We even did on our over under show, like over under like 12.5, like some stupid. It's just never gonna happen. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. I don't know why. We all don't know why up here. But look at this comment. Anyway,
Hey, I wouldn't mind it.
but with that being said, fellas, I got nothing else to talk about for this game. Do you guys have anything else?
SGA's 30-point streak has kind of come to an end, so that's not the best thing. His 20-point streak still continues from himself, but I think we just need to recoup, get ourselves together. Mark, Sam Presti, and the guys need to get into the lab and look at the advanced stats, not just eye tests or not just sticking with one thing that works really well from a starting lineup perspective. I think the lineups, the way we put our players out there needs to change a little bit. And we got a nice little comment here, Joe or Jack. You guys can read this one.
It says, can you guys explain why our defensive guys can't contain Fox, Castle, Vassell, or Barnes? I mean, we are supposed to have the best perimeter defenders in the league. And shout out, I'm going to say what? The Platon 20 for the dono. Appreciate that. But to get, to answer this question, I'll start really quick, fellas. I mean, I think Castle especially puts an intense amount of pressure on the defense. He gets downhill. He makes our guards guard him. And he gets to the free throw line when he gets in there if we're going to foul him. But he's very crafty around the rim. So Castle, he's strong getting downhill. That's for Castle. Fox, I don't know. I mean, Fox had 6 points the other night, but he goes for 30 today. So it's very head-scratching with Fox. Vassell has always killed OKC. I'll let Jack go. And Barnes, I mean, I think we play like let Barnes shoot type thing, and he's made them.
It's this game we just weren't connected at all. Especially defensively, there was no plugging, no help defense really. It's just if you got by, then you'd be right at the hoop, and it was such a mess on the rotations as well that guys like Castle and Vassell and Barnes were wide open. So it was more of a connection issue, I think, because when we're guarding them, it's not too bad. We can contain them slightly. I mean, Fox had 29 points, so that should be looked at. But most of their points were easy buckets made of undisciplined mistakes. And I think offensively as well, the Thunder were just really undisciplined this game. There was a lot of 1v1, a lot of isolation ball, and it looked horrible to watch. It looked like we didn't have a single set play going into this game, and there was no playbook, and it looked like a scrimmage offensively. Like, here you have it. I saw Kenrich Williams catch it on the 3, take 3 dribbles, pull up mid-range. The next play I saw Shea do the same. Next play I saw Isaiah Joe do the same. There was no passing involved for most of the game. But thanks for the donation.
Yeah, I want to answer the question as well. I think the matchup with Lou Dort on Castle is not working. Lou Dort cannot contain. If I was on the court out there right now at this point, like, he has not been good on defense, and he's dropping down every game. It feels like guys are just kind of getting whatever they want, and they're using his aggressiveness against him to get to the free throw line. Like, Castle was doing that pretty often. Fox, like, at this point, the referees and the players know how to get Lou Dort kind of involved on the free throw line, and I think that's been an issue. Castle's just a bigger player, so I don't think that's a good matchup from Mark's perspective. I think bigger guards need to be guarding Castle. Like, we cannot have small guys on him. He's just too strong. The person I want to see on Fox is Cason Wallace. I believe he's the only one from a speed and athleticism perspective that can even contain a guy like that. Like, I don't think there's anyone else on the roster. Maybe AJ could be on him for a good amount of time because he's pretty quick as well. But for the speed that Fox has, like, I need someone that's as locked in as Cason Wallace. Vassell, like you mentioned, Joe, he always gives us issues. I think he's the guy that we could put Lou Dort on to kind of just eliminate. I don't think Vassell is good enough to get past a guy like Lou Dort, and he doesn't have that strength. He's more of just a shooter, and what Lou Dort's really good at is contesting three-point shots and just shooters in general, and I think I'd prefer him on him this season. The type of defense that Lou Dort's playing, it's more contesting shots rather than containing guys going to the basket. He has not been that good at it. And then Harrison Barnes, I saw a comment letting their best, one of their better three-point shooters go off on us. I mean, we have to concede somewhere, and Harrison Barnes is kind of usually the guy that's more of an afterthought. Like, he's just someone that we could put SGA on, or someone else that isn't as involved on the defensive scheme. And that's just kind of how it goes. He's kind of he's not that athletic. He's not fast moving. Like, there's not much he's delivering outside of this 3-point shooting. So if he makes them or if he doesn't, that's just kind of what you have to live by. But great comment there.
Yeah, and the last thing with Barnes, I mean, yeah, Barnes has started off the season shooting pretty well. In big games when he was with Golden State, he didn't shoot the ball well. He didn't shoot the ball well in a big game in the NBA Cup. I don't think anybody's necessarily worried about Harrison Barnes this late into his career. He just gets open shots because he's got a lot of good players around him, and he's making them right now. But we'll see how long that lasts there. All right, last thing for me, I'm just going to shout out our memberships on the YouTube channel. Go check out. Actually, go sub to the premium memberships for a whole lot of perks. We were talking to a bunch of guys on Instagram the other day. They want to join up on one of our lives soon, so we're going to get that rolling. But we have such a great community of people that have joined the memberships. They've been in constant communication. They chat in the chats here. I see them all the time too. We want to shout out all of our members. And if you haven't already, go sub. I mean, you could come live with us. Even the Spurs fans that want to troll, come live with us and come say it on live. Show your face and say it on live. We'd love to have a conversation. I'm being serious. Like, it's always fun up here. You guys, for Thunder fans or anyone really, you could go record behind the scenes with us. We do weekly episodes, weekly members-only episodes, so you come record those. And you just get access to everything that a lot of people don't. So that's all I'll say then.
And for all the Spurs fans that want to keep trolling us, hit that subscribe button, turn the notifications on, and then you get all our videos so you can come and comment and keep trolling us. I did want to shout out Rylan Styles on Twitter quoted Sam Presti from April 2023. Sam Presti says, "The sky falls on every NBA team at least 2 times a year." So I don't think Sam Presti is going to be making any moves. I think he's going to be pretty content with how we're going, and I think this is just a rough spot that we got to push through, and
that was from today.
We'll get out of it. From 2023.
Oh, that was from 2023. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's Sam Presti's mentality on the situation. So I think, yeah, we'll be right.
Indy, you are the best, bro. Appreciate you, man. All right.
We got a couple comments. We got a couple comments to get through for the starred comments here. Skies mentioned how embarrassing this loss was. For sure, man. This was definitely a tough one. Austin here. Crusoe couldn't hit water today if he fell out of a boat. Hilarious. But very true. I mean, he was 2 for 12. I mean, the whole team was not shooting very well, but definitely a tough one there. Yeah, totally agree. We're going through a pretty rough stretch here. Every team kind of goes through this. You need to go through adversity through the season. I'd honestly be worried, Joe. I don't know about you. If we got to the playoffs or something and we hadn't gone through some tough losses or, some moments like this, because if you get punched in the face way late into the season and then you don't know how to make the adjustments later on, it's much bigger issues. And so I actually don't mind it that we're now starting to think, hey, maybe this offense isn't what we thought it was. And I'm glad that it's being pointed out in these high leverage games, because then we can, have more of the players that we want in the lineup, get more minutes. Austin, again, just too inconsistent on offense. It's just been a theme for us. And J-Dub is looking pretty rusty here in December. Obviously coming off a pretty big injury. That's not a small thing to shout out there. And Chris here with the $500. Yeah, man. All right, Joe, take it away.
Yeah, Chris, he goes, what do you think about the terrible deals given to Chet and J-Dub? Is OKC willing to go above the second apron? Go, Spurs, go. Shout out to you, Chris. Appreciate the donation. And a great question. I don't believe either of those deals are terrible deals given yet. Obviously, neither of those players are playing well right now, but they did just come off a championship win. They just won a NBA Finals trophy last season, and Chet started off the season extremely well. He's a little rusty right now, but I think it's a bit too early to call either of those deals terrible. And no, they're not going to hit the second apron. We've talked about that a lot on our channel. There's a lot of money that they've moved around to save money. They're not close to the second apron.
Even if we do hit the second apron, it's not something that we're too worried about because we're built internally through picks and stuff. So even if we're capped at trading players, it's not going to be an issue because all our major players are all locked in, especially from a core perspective. So that's only for teams that don't have that many picks and then they're relying on them, or they're relying on trades, and that's just not something we're doing. So paying up the money won't be an issue. And also in 2028, the luxury tax will go up, so we shouldn't have too much of an issue with that there. Going back to Austin's comment here, that did suck. It was definitely not a loss that we wanted on Christmas Day. I know when we all got on here, it was a tough one. Chet doesn't play good against Wemby. What do you guys think about this?
Oh, yes. I wanted to answer this one, actually.
Go ahead, man.
Graphic during the ABC broadcast says otherwise. Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren in their careers, respectively, when they've gone head-to-head, Victor averages 16 points. Chet averages 15. So Chet's going through a little slump right now, but don't come on the show with dumb comments if they're not true. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
It was in front of your face today. I have a feeling you didn't watch the game or something, maybe.
Yeah, this is the one time that, or 2-game stretch that Chet hasn't played too well against Wemby. But outside of that, throughout their careers as a whole, they've played pretty much neck and neck.
16-15, baby.
Yeah. And it's only one more win now for Wemby than Chet. So, and the average gone down probably a little bit, but I don't think that's too much of an issue when you got a ring. So not too worried about it.
Jack, you had one more thing?
Not really.
We went over this one earlier.
Yeah, been over everything, I think.
All right. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this up here. Everyone in the chat, everyone, Spurs fans, Thunder fans, Pacer fans, whoever's in the chat, appreciate every single one of you for tuning into the Bring the Thunder podcast. If you do celebrate, have a happy, Merry Christmas. Go spend time with your loved ones. Enjoy the day, and we will see you guys. When are we going to see them next? We'll see you guys soon. Anyway, Thunder up, baby. Let's go. Merry Christmas. Have a good one, everybody.